The tariffs put in place by US President Donald Trump are still one of the most talked about issues in the world. As you know, Donald Trump chose to put 25% taxes on Canada and Mexico, and between 10% and 60% on China. Trump had stopped putting taxes on Mexico and Canada. In the US, President Trump set a date for himself to start putting tariffs on trade with Canada and Mexico. Moving very quickly. A lot of countries, not just Canada and Mexico, have been very mean to us. US President Donald Trump put taxes on goods coming from China, Mexico, and Canada. People in Canada would pay less than half of the tax. We'll see what happens with Canada. Trump has said this date a few times in the last few weeks. As the date gets closer, worries have grown, especially in Canada. To fight back against the effects of US tariffs, the Canadian government had even reached out to the EU and China. It is said that Canadian officials have recently changed their minds about sending resources, such as compressed natural gas, to China. But Canada's main goal wasn't to trade with the US, it was to get along better with Europe. Recently, Canada and Italy have been talked about a lot together. Some experts say that the two countries are changing the way their economies work. Analysts of the economy say that even the European Union is surprised by Canada's ties with Italy. What's new with trade between Canada and Italy? Is it because Canada picked Italy over the US? What plan did Canada have with Italy to avoid taxes from the US? We are going to look into the answers to all of these important questions together. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, turn on alerts, and give us a like before we go. That way you can always see our new videos. All of these things are free of charge. Let's go back to the main subject. To begin, it's important to note that Italy is already well known in the Canadian market. Italy wants to get involved in the food industry and is setting itself up as a possible alternate supplier, in case the US puts trade restrictions in place and Canada responds by putting tariffs on the US. If we look at Canada's food imports by the countries that send them, we can see that after the US and Mexico, Italian agri-food goods are the most important on the Canadian market. In this way, Italy has even beaten France. When it comes to trade with Canada, Italy comes in third after the US and Mexico, with $1.5 billion worth of goods sent there. In recent years, the comprehensive economic and trade agreement has helped Italian imports. The agreement is now in provisional implementation and has lowered customs barriers on many Italian agricultural and food goods. In the event that trade between the US and Canada is limited, this agreement makes Italy's situation in the food sector even stronger. In fact, products will gain even more if Ottawa changes its sources of supply so it isn't so reliant on goods made in the US. In turn, Canada could get a bigger share of the Italian market and make Italy an even more reliable trade partner. At the time, the relationship between Italy and Canada could hide the effects and tensions of the US tariffs. We need to look at Italy and Canada's trade records for 2024 to see if this is true. By looking at Italy's and the US's market shares in 2024 and different parts of the Canadian food industry, we can see some key areas where Italy could increase its position if Canada puts tariffs on US food imports. It is not very common for Italy to send finished and intermediate food items that are not packaged to Canada. However, Italy can make good use of opportunities in the packaged food and drink market. Some examples of areas where Italy's export shares are about the same as the US's are milk, yogurt, cheese, oil, rice, pasta, and alcoholic drinks. When you look at the past trends of Italian and American liquor drinks sent to Canada, you can see that Italian exports have been steadily going up since the Comprehensive Economic and Trade Agreement went into effect in 2017. In the past 2 years, this growth has sped up even more, which shows that Italian wine products are in a stronger situation now that their quality and value are recognized. Because of Trump's tariff war, global trade is becoming less stable. As a result, the Italian food industry could find growth chances in a key market, like Canada. Italian companies can make their position stronger in the Canadian market by taking advantage of the bad feelings between Ottawa and Washington and the good name of Italian goods around the world. In response to the US's protectionist policies, Italian businesses might see these changes as a possible opportunity and carefully consider other markets for their goods besides the US. Italy could also make its friendship with Canada a lot stronger. In this way, there is one thing that helps us understand both countries better. This is the plan for Italy and Canada to work together more closely. The goal of this roadmap is to improve this connection by setting up and allowing joint projects and efforts in areas of shared interest. It also shows that both countries are ready to work together closely to solve global problems and support long-term wealth, peace, and the rule of law around the world. This includes the 7 presidencies that will happen in 2024 and 2025. It's time to learn more about the trade and business balance between our two countries. Italy and Canada trade and invest a lot with each other. Their economies work well together and both gain from the strength of small and medium-sized businesses. Greater ambition is possible, and there are big chances for growth in key areas like life sciences, vital minerals, semiconductors, aerospace, e-mobility, clean energy technologies, and semiconductors. To do this, Italy and Canada are looking for ways to strengthen their trade and business ties even more. They are doing this by looking for ways to work together and share best practices, such as encouraging institutional investors to share information with each other. Both countries also want to improve business relationships between small and medium-sized companies. One way they plan to do this is by starting a platform called CDP in Canada in November 2023. This platform will help a lot of Italian and Canadian companies connect with each other. These two countries, Italy and Canada, want to see economic growth that benefits everyone and lasts. Both countries are looking for ways to work together with their African partners to move the 2030 agenda of sustainable development goals forward and make the region a better place for peace, growth, and prosperity. This includes steps to make food systems more sustainable, make sure everyone has access to good schools and health care, improve energy security, and protect physical and digital infrastructure assets. These kinds of activities are in line with Italy's Mattei plan for Africa. On the other hand, both Italy and Canada want their development finance institutions, Cassa Depositi, Prestiti, and FinDev Canada, to work together more. Among other things, moving forward with plans to help the private sector in West Africa, like giving the bank West African Development a €150 million loan line. As part of the Group of 7, Cassa Depository, Prestiti, and FinDev Canada are working with other Group of 7 development finance companies to improve how they work together and coordinate. In terms of safety and defense, we also see the two countries working together. Because of the good relationship between Canada and the European Union, Italy and Canada help keep the world safe by looking for ways to work together on things like cybersecurity and climate change and security. They also keep working together with the North Atlantic Treaty Organization's Forward Land Forces Battle Group in Latvia and its Climate Change and Security Center of Excellence in Montreal. Aside from that, Italy and Canada are working together more to improve cybersecurity, protect businesses and customers, and make the world less vulnerable to cyber incidents. They are also working on international rules for how states should act responsibly in cyberspace, as well as programs to build cyber capability and rules. There is also a Group of 7 quick reaction mechanism that brings the two countries closer together. This mechanism helps them keep an eye on, analyze, and fight threats like foreign information, interference, and manipulation, as well as the risks and opportunities that come with them. Italian and Canadian police work together closely to fight organized crime because they both know that this problem is becoming more international. The Italian Ministry of the Interior and the Royal Canadian Mounted Police have signed a memorandum of understanding to show their support for each other. The two ministries of justice also have agreements in place for mutual legal help and extradition. The United Nations and foreign police cooperation programs like Interpol and Europol have also helped both countries improve their relations with each other. In terms of energy, Italy and Canada are also very much on the same page. Italy and Canada both want to create clean and renewable energy technologies that will improve energy security, make trade more cooperative, and help them reach their common climate, biodiversity, and other environmental goals, such as the 28 outcomes of the Conference of the Parties. As promised at the Group of 7 ministerial meeting on climate, energy, and the environment in Veneria, Turin, Italy, and Canada want to help keep the 1.5-degree goal within reach and work toward and support the switch to clean energy. In particular, both countries are still working together through international groups like the Powering Past Coal Alliance to push for the end of all coal-fired power plants around the world by the first half of the 2030s.